Hello, dear friends. Welcome to our channel where we bring you the best classic kids stories. Today we are going to read a lovely classic kids story, The Tale of Elsie and the Talking Oak. So without any further ado, let's begin. Once upon a time in a green corner of old England, where the hills whispered to the clouds and the daisies danced in the breeze, lived a kind little girl named Elsie. She lived in a cozy thatched cottage with her grandmother, who told her magical stories every night before bed. Stories of fairies and brownies, pixies and goblins, elves and talking trees, all the wonders that might be found if you wandered just beyond the Whispering Wood. But though the wood was right behind their cottage, Elsie had never been inside. It seemed scary and dark and full of unknown dangers, but now she was all grown up and not afraid of anything. One spring morning, Elsie strolled out of her cottage with a basket swinging on her arm and a song in her heart. The air smelled sweet with the scent of hawthorn blossom and warm with the promise of summer days. She wandered through the fields, skipping and humming until she came to the edge of the Whispering Wood. Taking a deep breath, Elsie stepped inside. The sunlight dripped through the leaves like golden honey and painted dancing spots of light on the mossy ground. As Elsie walked deeper into the woods, she noticed an ancient oak tree with gnarled branches reaching towards the sky like arthritic fingers. She sat down on a nearby stone to rest and opened her basket. Suddenly, she heard a creaky voice say, "Well, hello there, child. What brings you to my roots?" Elsie looked up, wide-eyed. The tree had eyes. They weren't carved or drawn, but real, blinking eyes. And a big wooden smile spread across its barky face. "Oh, I'm just exploring," said Elsie politely. "I love stories, and the Whimble Wood feels like one," the old oak chuckled, a sound like rustling leaves. "So do I, in fact. I have a story to tell you." "But only if you promise to share it with others," Elsie nodded eagerly. "I promise." And the old oak began. Long ago, when birds wore boots and rabbits rode ponies, a proud hedgehog tried to climb the tallest oak of course, to touch the stars. He scurried up my bark, determined to reach the moon, when suddenly a sly fox called up, "Hey, little hedgehog, why don't you come down and join me for a game of leapfrog?" The hedgehog huffed, "I'm busy climbing." "Can't you see?" But the fox was persistent and soon the hedgehog agreed to take a break. As they played, the fox tickled the hedgehog's face and made him lose his balance. "Whoops, sorry," said the fox with a grin. But really he had tripped the hedgehog on purpose. And while the prickly ball rolled away, the fox dashed up the oak tree and nipped the hedgehog's tail. "Hey, that's cheating," cried the hedgehog. And the sly fox laughed and said, "In life, little friend, you must always look after number one." The hedgehog sat down on the ground, dejected, his dreams of touching the stars fading with the sunset. But then a tiny voice squeaked, "That's not true. You should help your friends and always be kind." The hedgehog looked down and saw a little field mouse offering him a paw. "But what can I do?" asked the hedgehog. "You're slow and prickly and I'm just a tiny mouse." The hedgehog thought for a moment. Then he said, "Perhaps I don't need to touch the stars. Maybe helping my friend is more important." Together, the hedgehog and the mouse raced up the tree. They climbed over roots and around rocks and soon reached the fox, who was fast asleep. The mouse squeaked loudly in his ear, startling the fox awake. Before he knew what happened, the hedgehog jabbed his sharp quill into the fox's ear. "Oh, that's revenge," cried the fox as he ran away. The hedgehog and the mouse looked at each other and smiled. Together, they had helped each other and made a new friend along the way. And that, dear Elsie, is the tale of the kind hedgehog, the brave mouse, and the cheating fox. Elsie clapped her hands. "What a wonderful lesson about friendship," she said. The old oak beamed. "Indeed. Now go on, child. Share this story with everyone you meet. It will make their hearts grow like the buds on my branches in the springtime." Elsie promised to do just that, so she skipped happily out of the wood and back to her village, where she shared the story with the baker, the teacher, even the mayor. And each person smiled brighter than the last. From that day on, whenever Elsie felt sad or lonely, she would visit the old oak and listen to his stories. He told her tales of mischievous fairies, of brave knights, and of dragons who liked tea parties. Sometimes the stories were silly, sometimes sad, and sometimes made Elsie laugh so hard her tummy hurt. But no matter what, she always learned something new and left the woods feeling better than before. News of the wise old oak and his magical stories spread throughout the land, and soon people came from far and wide to sit beneath his branches and listen to his tales. They sat in circles on the mossy ground, hanging onto every word as Elsie shared the stories with them. A young woodcutter once sat beneath the oak and heard the story of the tiny knight who wouldn't stop trying, no matter how big the dragon was. And the next day, he chopped down the biggest tree in the forest with a lighter heart and stronger arms. A shy young woman heard the tale of the princess who couldn't decide what to wear to the royal ball and realized it was okay to be herself even if she didn't have fancy clothes or a silk nightgown. A tired old farmer listened to the story of the magical beans and remembered that even old dreams could come true if you dared to plant them and water them with hope. All who sat beneath the old oak and listened to its stories went out into the world with lighter steps and hopeful hearts. And so the stories grew like branches spreading from Whimble Wood to every corner of the land, reminding everyone that magic can be found in the most unexpected places and that even the oldest trees have stories to tell if you only stop to listen. That's all for today. Friends, do share this video with your loved ones and make sure to like and subscribe for more updates. We will be back soon with another classic kid story. Until then, keep being kind and stay curious. See you next time!